Hello there, it's Thea. How's it going? Welcome back to Garden Goddess Tarot, and welcome to another fun little installment. I thought today we'd play another version of the game of decks that feel like. So this is a new series I'm starting. I'm gonna try and get one up a week because there's a lot of cards to get through, and if I don't do it that often, well, there'll just never be an end in sight. But it's just a fun little game that I've been playing with the Hellenic Oracle, which is the Greek mythology oracle deck that I made. So each time I'll pull a card from the Hellenic Oracle, a deck of gods and goddesses, primordial energies, and whomever pops out, I will go amidst the collection, find 5 or 6 decks, or however many the moon strikes me with. Decks that kind of match the energy of that deity. It's a fun way to explore the Greek pantheon, and also a good way to, you know, get to be familiar with my own decks as well, like figuring out what kind of energy they sit within in the context of Greek mythology, which is kind of the way I conceptualize the world these days. So it's gonna be a fun time. So if you haven't seen the last episode yet, I'll link it up and down. Thanatos came out last time, so we were starting strong with death. But yeah, today let's have a look and see. Let's waste no more time and get right into it. Who is coming out for us today? Okay. Alright guys, who's today? Who is today? Oh, okay, we got the Satyrs. Okay, so this one, oh, it's a fun one. Satyrs are like little half man, half goat mythical beings. They kind of accompanied Dionysus. They lived in the woods primarily. They were out in nature, very connected to the earth in that way. If I were to give this an element, it would thoroughly be the earth suit, but they're very they kind of dance to the beat of their own drum, really. They fall under the hedonistic umbrella of what kind of life perspective as well. So that's fun. I'm excited. Okay, I'm gonna have a boo around. I'm gonna find some decks. Oh god, this is gonna be a tricky one. Okay, find some decks that feel like satyr energy, and we'll go up to the tarot table, and I'll show you, and we'll have a look a little bit deeper. Okay guys. Okay, that was an adventure. I also thought I lost one of my decks, and I took way too long trying to find it. I'm not even sure how well it fits, but just like the second I realized I could not locate it, I panicked and I spent way too long looking for it. And then I did find it eventually, never fear. It was so close. It could have bitten me on the nose many times, but anyway, we got there. We're good. So Satyrs, Satyri. So the tricky part with this one is because I know that inside the Hellenic Oracle deck there are 2 other deity energies that are so close, and I want to be able to differentiate between them instead of just doing repeat decks all the time. For example, Dionysus and Satyrs have a lot of the same energy. Very different. Dionysus covers a bunch of others. Like I feel like Dionysus has a lot more going on. But there is overlap, as well as Pan's in here, and Pan is a satyr, so there's also that layer of overlap. But this is a more general one. Having satyrs come out first, probably best, and really the energy that I'm looking for when I'm choosing decks for the Satyrs card is a kind of devil-may-care attitude. Really leaning into that free-spirited hedonism, that kind of wild nature spirit energy, was really what was shining through with this one for Satyrs. So hopefully we did good. So we're gonna keep him out as a little central focus as I share some decks. So where to start? Because immediately, I guess we'll get it out of the way first because it's pretty obvious. There is a distinct sexual energy about satyrs. Within Greek mythology, they're depicted a lot of the time with giant erect phalluses as well, she says under her breath, as to not be demonetized. Danger. But it's a thing. It is a truth. So that's a big part of the satyr energy, and I do believe the devil card in this deck is a satyr. So let me just do a little search and find through it. Get a feel for the energy we're looking at here. I think through and through the entirety of this deck, there are a lot of cards that don't quite hit Satyr energy on the nose, but yeah, there we go. There he is. I had to include him. So he's been chosen for this prompt as well. Just to kind of that wild sexual freedom, the hedonism, the questing for pleasure as part of one's life and spiritual path is kind of encompassed in this one, and I couldn't not pick it for a Satyr energy deck for various reasons. So hedonism, pleasure, it's here. It's the only one here that has that kind of the raw carnal feel that Satyr kind of covers. The other aspect is the kind of wild nature spirit aspect of it, which I had more luck with. This one's like kind of obvious and too obvious, and I don't know if this deck takes itself too seriously to officially be considered a Satyr deck, but kind of the wild nature aspect of it, in a way, kind of holds a little bit. It's not on, it's like not totally on the nose, but it's close. So I think maybe in its essence it might be a bit of a Satyr deck, but not too much, because at the same time it does have a habit of taking itself a little bit too seriously, which was something I was really trying hard to avoid. So that's kind of like an honorable mention, contendery type one. In the wild nature spirit, I also have 2 oracles here that I thought would be good. This one, I don't know where the hat is. Spirits of Nature oracle, and again, just very the reason that this was chosen, it seems like aesthetically it's not, but in its content, in its vibe, just like the unfiltered nature aspect of it, I feel like could be a Satyr deck. There's no figures, there's no humans, it's just, which again, like this will probably, if Gaia comes out, obviously this one's gonna come out. Like there's gonna be overlap, but I think in part of the essence of this deck, somewhere within those layers, is the energy of the wildness of Satyrs. So I'm considering the Messages from the Spirits of Nature, that's what the front looks like, by Stephen D. Farmer, as a bit of a Satyr deck as well. And then in the same vein, this is the Messages. It's in a bag, I forget what it's called. But again, this is that raw earthiness. That's just a bit wild. Untainted by humans. Sometimes the meanings are a little bit punchy as well. Just kind of a relaxing into the natural flow of things while embracing the chaos of nature a little bit. Yeah, there's like poop in this deck. Like, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It just is. It's wild. You know? So I think this one, it counts a little bit. So those are the kind of the wildness. These decks kind of encompass or encapsulate the wild aspect of the Satyr energy. Speaking of wild seems to be a theme, right? I had to throw this one in also. This is the Cosmic Tribe Tarot. And I think at its core, it's also a Satyr deck. Just because it's the essence, the vibe, the personality that this deck has. It's got that, you know, the rooted hedonism, the devil may care attitude, the joyous celebration of the natural world, even within the context of this weird, wild, and wacky digital collage. Plus there's bits. I don't know. I think it is. That one really screamed to me as a bit of a Satyr deck as well. I'm just gonna go quickly through some of these. Like it is gritty in its own weird way. Like it's Satyr-y. I think it is. Totally. So it's the Cosmic Tribe Tarot. Actually, come to think of it, one of the cards, there is a little blue dude in this that has goat legs. So he's in here too, as well. Speaking of decks that have a little goat man in them, I grabbed this guy as well. This is Dreams of Gaia, which is a weird one to pick. Yeah, I pulled him out. He's right on top. Because, like, obviously, like, that'd be a Gaia deck. But I think he's obviously represented here in one form or other. Maybe a little bit softer, maybe a little less hedonistic. Hard to say. But there is that kind of wild nature aspect about this deck also. It's also got a little bit of the devil may care attitude in it, just because it also takes the system of tarot and goes, like, it doesn't care. It broke the rules. It saw that there was the tarot structure and went, you know what? I don't need that. I'm gonna do what I want. And I appreciate that about it. And I think that gives it that little air of Satyr energy as well. Like it works in its own little way. Very elemental as well. So we've got, you know, the aspects, the energies of Earth in its various forms are covered. I think it is as well. So yeah. I think this guy is a little bit of a Satyr deck. That guy, he stalks me. He stalks me all the time. He will not leave me alone. But yeah, Dreams of Gaia by Raven Phelan. This is, yeah, good old favorite, but an excellent one for the Satyr energy. However, in the same breath, I don't think the oracles do. I think the oracles don't feel like Satyr energy, which is weird because they're so similar. But I think they're a little bit, they're softer. They don't, I know they look so similar, but just the energy of the deck itself, it doesn't feel as Satyr-y to me. This is someone else. This is different. So I just thought I'd point that out as well. So although the tarot feels a little bit Satyr-y to me, this oracle, this is the combo of the Seeker and the Messenger oracle. It's not it. They don't do the thing. So just thought I'd point that out. That even though, like, the decks that are literally kind of made to sit within the same family can feel so different. I do love both of those decks, by the way. Okay. I also had to include a Fae deck, and I didn't want to include all of them because I think really Satyrs and Fae, they feel very different for me. Like, when I think Brian Fraud Fairies, something else comes a lot more clearly. But the Tarot of the She, I think of all of the Fae decks, probably has the most Satyr energy in it. In that it is so wild and so... It's another world. It's as though this place in nature where the Satyrs inhabit is a wild and other place, and they're kind of inviting you to take part in it and rejoice in it in like in a weird and wild way. Like there's a lot of kind of how do I say about this one? It's like a deep knowing of the earth that predates humans is what this feels like, and it also kind of Satyrs and that kind of fit together for me. Like it's a come with us kind of energy. I think it works. So, and this one again may come up later with other deities, but I think there is a slice of it that fits well into Satyr energy. Less of like the hedonism, well, maybe a little bit of pleasure seeking, or like that one, but maybe like obviously not as much as some others that were previously mentioned, but it feels like it does. I'm doing a bad job of explaining it. But yeah, Tarot of the She by Emily Carding I think is a good mix for Satyr energy. And there's the devil in this one is literally also Pan, so that makes sense. But again, we may see this deck if Pan comes up as well. I grabbed this one, but I don't think so. I don't. It takes itself too seriously. It's not the one. Okay, another collage-y wildness situation that has, I feel, some pretty strong Satyr energy in it is, now stay with me here, is the Voyager Tarot by James Wanless. I don't know what it is, but I feel like the chaos and the natural elements kind of included in this collage deck are very Satyr-y. It made sense in my brain when I'm like, Satyrs? Voyager Tarot. Especially with the borders off and it freed, it has that like overstimulating like noise quality about it that I think really it matches the Satyr energy as well. It's like chaos and confusion. You're along for the ride. It's a crazy time. There's music, there's dancing. It's a party. You know, altered states of consciousness. I don't know. I feel like it is. It's a Satyr deck in various forms. Let's see. Oh yeah. Death. Yeah. No, it's a riot. It's a party. So I think it had to be a Satyr deck. So that's the heavily modified version of the Voyager Tarot by James Wanless. And I did pull out also to kind of go along with it his Oracle, which is the Sustain Yourself Oracle, and it has that earthy flair about it as well. I wasn't sure though if this felt as much like a Satyr deck as the Voyager Tarot did, which is weird because you'd almost think it would be more. I don't know. It's a contender, but it's like a non-official choice. But again, we have that naturey wildness aspect, but it just doesn't feel as Satyr-y as the tarot does. Dissemination. Fun. But maybe. Sleeping Lemur for joy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still not sold on this choice. But there is a this card, so maybe. But it's like too broad. It's like parts of it are, but parts of it aren't. I don't know. Again, it's a vibe. I can't explain, but it feels a certain way. So those are the James Wanless decks, and I feel like we're wanting to be chosen for my little half human, half goat feller, the Satyrs, who hung around with Dionysus and the Maenads, causing havoc in the woods, really living their best life. Speaking of chaos, I think the next ones are very chaosy. They embrace that. Like, it's not like chaos in the god chaos kind of way, but chaos in a very unrestrained kind of way. In a let's break the rules kind of way. I've got the Dali Tarot here, and I felt like this was very much a Satyr deck also. I feel like the graffiti aspect of it, like we've got graffiti on like classical works, the kind of the haphazard collage elements of it. It was like a teenager with a spray paint can got a hold of some fine art, and I feel like that's very Satyr energy as well. Like this one in particular, like they drew a mustache on him. Like I feel like that's very, very Satyr energy. So this is the Dali Tarot by Salvador Dali. And it even kind of looks like him. Got Dali on the Magician and then the Satyr. I think it did it. It is. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Like with the beauty and the aesthetic aspect of it, while also subverting the aesthetic aspect of it through the kind of collage-y, like graffiti mixed media presentation. I think it works. It was very maintenance. The world. Cards are also comically huge. And you know what else is comically huge? The box this comes in. It's like this, like, absolutely massive purple velvet box. Satyr move right there. Oh, it's got Eros and Psyche in it. Doo-doo-doo-doo. That's the Dali Tarot. A weird one. I do want to have a few words with Monsieur Salvador about his astrological associations, but anyway. Actually, both of them. They're both here. This is the new Travis McHenry Bosch deck, which, again, it messes with the system of tarot in a way that irritates me more than the Dreams of Gaia does, which is hilarious. But it's funny because I like don't tolerate it as much in this one as I do in the Dreams of Gaia. In the Dreams of Gaia, I'm like, yeah, fine, whatever, I'll break the rules. But with this one being different than regular tarot, I'm like, no, I hate it. I don't hate it, but it just it irks me in a funny way. So I got both Bosch tarots here, and Hieronymus Bosch, his artwork, very chaos, very like, you know, he does the triptych of the Garden of Earthly Delights, right? So we've got heaven, earth, and hell as well. So there's like all aspects of what it's like to live a hedonistic life. And then we'll have the Lo Scarabeo out at the same time. And this one's a proper tarot, but it kind of modifies his artwork to kind of fit with the tarot system a little bit more. But basically, Bosch's artwork in general is very, very satyr-y, you know? I feel. Actually, let's get this guy out of the way. I need to rant about that one maybe more in a little bit, but specifically this one seems to be a little bit more of the hell aspect of that particular triptych. We've got a lot more of the weirdness, the weird creatures, the, you know, half human, half animal situation, which harkens back to our satyr energy as well. But yeah, I feel like it is. This is a satyr deck for sure. There's a little devil. So fun. The wheel. So good. Oh, wild. So kooky. You just see them running around the landscape, countryside, amidst the chaos. Gonna see if there's anything that's particularly satyr-y, but it's the vibe of this one. I feel like, yeah, very Bosch has satyr energy within it. So that's the Bosch tarot. It's a good one. And then okay, this beast by Travis McHenry. It has weird suits. It doesn't have, oh, it does have court cards, but they're different. There's like only 8 cards per, hold on. Okay, so there's the ace, king, queen, princess, baron, knight, page, and then the majors. There's no like minor numbers in it. There's no like 2, 3. There's only like court cards, and then yeah, it's a whole new system, and I've been loath to learn it because it's gonna mess up. So if anything, I've used this as like an oracle deck. As you can see, it's also bowed quite a bit, but anyway, this is a satyr deck as well, because it was like, I'm gonna take your tarot and I'm gonna mess it up while also carrying the whimsical, wild, chaotic Bosch energy as well. So like giant berries. Oops, what are you doing upside down? Prince of Skates, Baron of Birds. Like what? King of Coins. That one makes sense. It does have keywords on it, which is really helpful. But yeah, I think this one is a satyr deck, and it's just one I wholeheartedly don't recommend unless you want an oracle deck that is weird, because it's not a tarot, and I would never tell anybody that it was. It's so strange. Yeah. Oh, and there's the Sins in here too. Oh, I know, it's weird. The system is weird. It's just strange. This is a very Satyrs card. Ace of Berries. Harmony among all living things. Happiness and joy. I'll say. That's the Bosch Tarot by Travis McHenry. A weird one. I do love the box. I love that the box is the triptych and it opens up like that. And then in the middle, there's the, let's get that in there. There. Oh, Garden of Earthly Delights. So beautiful. Too bad the deck is impossible to use. Okay. In the kind of wacky and wonky energy, Tarot of Ambiguities by Artists of Tarot. This one's the newer one to me. But I feel like it has Satyr energy just in its like weird take on the tarot, the hands and feediness of it. Especially the majors. They're just different. Different for the sake of being different, and we love that energy around here, you know? The Empress, Knight of Swords, Three of Hearts, legs. What a goofy guy. Yeah. This one's Satyr energy. Entirely. Let's find another major in here. Yeah, there's the Magician. Look at all his arms. It's kind of kooky. Devil May Care. Experimentation for curiosity's sake. Hermit's good. There's the Devil. I feel like we're hanging with Satyrs. We have to pull the Devil card out, right? We just have to. Seeing as his likeness was stolen for Christian propaganda's sake. Anywho, Tarot of Ambiguities. And the other one, that's definitely kind of weird and wild and kooky choice. The Carnival at the End of the World Tarot. Madame Lulu presents The Carnival at the End of the World from her Book of Fate. And this is by Conan Selznick. And this one is a whole experience. Like, the meanings in the books are wild. The cards, again, they're not really traditional tarot. Like, they've got, the system is correct and the same, but it really goes its own way with the imagery. And it's having a fun time with the energy of tarot in its own weird and wacky way. And I can respect that from a Satyr's point of view. But this one is a very tricky one to read with traditionally if you want to use the imagery at all, you know? Yeah, it's weird. But it's beautiful. Fishy! I'll just go through real quick and have a look at the beautiful cards. Like, I love the whole presentation of this. Like, it's a whole experience. You really got to get the Madame Lulu's Book of Fate to go with it, and kind of enjoy it as its own little art piece almost, while also being a tarot. But it's 10 out of 10 Satyr energy though. Also, I meant to say, feel free to disagree with me on any of these. Because we all experience what was that? Yeah, there's the Devil. We gotta share the Devil. We all experience the energy of these deities differently, right? So some of these are gonna probably be like, yeah, that makes total sense to me, and others absolutely not. I feel like when I did the Death one, I hit the nail on the head pretty well. But that one was easy. It was like a, what do they call it when they pitch you a very easy ball to hit in baseball? It was like that. This one a little trickier. And like I said, we'll see if when Pan or Dionysus comes up, we'll get any repeating energy. Like, it makes sense, but it also, there's a lot other stuff that I want to pull in for Dionysus one. But anyway, we've got one more deck to talk about. And it's kind of all of the Chiro decks. Any Chiro Marchetti deck Specifically, I've got this old guy. This is the original Gilded Tarot with the Barbara Moore book. Hold on, I just gotta open them up. Boop, 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 boop. Look at this. This is, got this secondhand, so this is some tarot readers' old cloth that they've wrapped it up in, and it's this old lovely beat up deck. I love it. I do desperately want to edge it in black though, but something about Chiro decks just have kind of a kooky wild energy about them. I don't know what it is. I really don't. They're fun. They take the system of tarot seriously, but they also don't at the same time. Like they respect tarot as a system, but then they like have fun with it within the confines of that system. And like the campiness, the cheesiness, the performative nature of the Chiro tarot decks. And it's really harkening back to like the kind of Shakespearean influences of Pamela Coleman Smith's artwork and the like concept of characters on a stage kind of, and it just takes that and it expands on it, it runs with it. And that performance and that camp really leans into the satyr energy as well. Because satyrs specifically, there were a section of Greek dramas called the satyr plays that would always play either before or after a tragedy or a comedy. And they were called satyr plays, and they were short little plays, and they were silly, and they were rude and ridiculous. It would be like an SNL skit in ancient Greece. And a lot of them, they were, you know, people dressed up with giant phalluses running around doing silly and stupid things just to take the edge off. Because, like, for example, you've just seen or just about to see this really, like, moving and like, heart-wrenching Greek tragedy, right? Like something like Medea or Antigone or something. And then you're like, oh, that was too much. And they want you to leave feeling a certain way. They'll, like, a satyr play would go on and it would just kind of lighten the mood again. It's like watching cartoons after seeing a really scary horror movie or something. Anyway, I feel like Chiro decks really embody that aspect of satyrs. The performance, the camp, the comforting, fun, like storytelling. Not even, it's performance art. The performance art aspect. The bright colors. The exaggerated characters. I don't know. I feel like any Chiro Marchetti deck fits in the satyr energy. This is the oldest one that I've got, and I just pulled it out. So I don't have, there is an older one that he did. I think it's Legacy of the Divine. I think that's his first one, but I can't be sure. So many decks. That man makes decks like I make breakfast often. But I think this is the last choice, and a pretty good one, I think, for the satyrs energy as well. But yeah, campy, fun, performative, entertaining, for the sake of attention getting, right? Like it's very that. Boop, 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 boop. So that's the old Gilded Tarot. Chiro Marchetti cardstock. Oh, she leaves something to be desired, but I love it. Old cardboardy goodness. But yeah, lovely. And there is there's a newer version of this in the Easy Tarot, and there's also the Gilded Tarot Royale, which is this but updated. So it's like the same images but more polished for a later time. Because I'm just curious now. When was this one? 2004. 2004. Yes. So an old fellow. It doesn't sound that old, because I can remember what I was doing in 2004. It doesn't feel that long ago, but anyway, it's wild. So those are our kind of random but kind of fun choices for satyr decks. Let me know what you think and how I did in choosing, and if there's any you would add as well to this particular one. This one was, again, this was a bit trickier. This challenged me a little bit more than than with Thanatos, but I think we did good. I think we captured and embodied the wild animal, like nature spirit energy that really relishes the hedonistic life and a devil-may-care attitude, and the freedom that a life outside of the confines of society offers, you know? Anyway, that has been Decks That Feel Like Satyrs edition. I hope you've enjoyed. Please subscribe and stay tuned for the next one. If you have any interest or confusion about the Hellenic Oracle deck, check out the videos about it. Ask me any questions. You know how it is. It's available on Make Playing Cards if you want a copy. Otherwise, I will see all of you fantastic and fine people in my next video. Ciao!